Hello? 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 I'm having a beer. What are y'all having? That's delicious. Okay. How do I look with my clematis? Does it look good as a fascinator? So, I'm so happy to be outside today in the greenhouses. Is my house cleaning done? No. I bailed on it today. I did. And I might go up and work on it for a couple of minutes, like an hour or so when we're done. I just wanted to be outside again. I love being outside. And I feel like it was necessary for me to clean up my house for 2 days. I have a big house. However, my time outside in the greenhouses and in the yard and stuff, it's just wonderful therapy, incredible therapy. So what I wanted to talk to y'all about today is the seed gathering and stuff. It's a fascinating process for me. I just love doing it. And so there's different ways to propagate and to, continue the life cycle of your plants. Many different ways to propagate. So I'll just show you a couple of different examples. So this is my yellow iris from the other day. So the iris come on rhizomes. The name of the bulb that they're on is called a rhizome. And the way to propagate iris is you just pull up the clump of them, cut the little rhizomes apart, and you can spread them out. Usually, I see people that have never spread out their iris, and the iris bulbs are on top of each other, and they're all over the place. Well, when you have as many beautiful iris as I have, I want to spread them out. I want to put them everywhere in my whole yard. It's interesting that they do different things in different parts of the yard. So I have a couple of places that are too shady for the iris to actually send up blooms. I don't ever get iris, but the plants are just horrific. They're just huge. I never get flowers. So iris have to be warmer. They really like to be hot, a little bit drier. Real easy to propagate. And they're real easy to share with friends too. Just keep that in mind, friends. They're real easy that I could share them with you. So another thing I wanted to talk to you about with regard to the black pansies, because I have a lot of people saying they want cuttings or starts or something of the black pansies. So here's what I want to tell you about them, is that we go to the store and we buy the seed, right? Where did the seed come from? So I'm going to show you. I'm going to put a bow in your curb, but I have to have another sip. What are you guys drinking today? Woo, the sun was bright when I came down here. Okay, so I want to show you the pansies. This is what we're going to talk about specifically for right now. Oh, it's still me. Oh, there we go, pansies. Okay, so this is a pansy right now, right? And this is going to die. This little flower is going to die. And I don't have any actually that are in that state. Mine are all pretty well happy and blooming still. So say, for instance, let me see. No, here's one. Okay, so you see how the petals have fallen off, and that has that rooty in the middle of that thing? The seed are actually growing inside of there. So there are several reasons why you deadhead your buds like that. You deadhead them because it's supposed to promote more blooms to come in. I don't deadhead my plants like that because I want that seed pod that's on that end of that stem. That's growing seed in there right now. And I want that to actually develop fully into a seed pod, because what it does, it has to get to full maturity. So I don't worry about, when it gets to full maturity. I just let it get all the way mature. It'll dry, it'll get really dry, it will burst open, and then all of the seeds will fly all over the place. And one of the gals the other night on the video chat, she said that, those big purple balls that I have, those allium things? We'll go out and look at them here in a second. She said that she has one in her yard that she didn't plant. And the reason why she has one in her yard that she didn't plant is because those balls, those huge balls, have seed pouches on the outside of them. We can walk out there real quick, and I want to show you something else. I want to show you the honeyberries. You guys aren't going to believe the honeyberries. Okay, so here's another thing. When you're, my arugula. Oh, it's still me. Sorry, my bad. So arugula is going to go to seed. If you want it to go to seed, then you just let it go there and harvest your own doggone seeds. Okay, and that will go, and the flowers, you guys have seen that before on your plants, where, let me see if I have something that's gone to seed down here. Let's see. My husband grew these from seed. All of his Chinese Empress trees all came from seed. Okay, so is the celery, okay, this kale went to seed. Okay, see that? So all of these little flowers, if I let them go, they're going to die back. See how that little pod right there? That's growing seed in there. And that's the reason why our kale is spreading. And that's the reason why I have celeries all over the place on my ground, is because this celery pops open its seeds all the time and sends them around. This one is starting to develop some seed pockets up here too. We're going to have to cut these off, Heidi, and make some Bloody Marys. Maybe Mary Hamilton can join us for that, and we'll just Bloody Mary this stuff up right here, because I'm going to have to trim that back. Anyway, so that's where our seeds come from. So see this kale? See that right there? Making seeds. Now this out here, this went absolutely berserk. This is making all kinds of seed. Now I'm going to let it go to seed. Look how many hundreds and hundreds of seed are on this. And these are Brussels sprouts. So if I don't do something about these seed, these Brussels sprouts are going to go everywhere. And you guys, that's why weeds, and you know, there are weeds that come. Oh, look. Oh, you guys, is it so funny that Crazy comes every day? Crazy comes to happy hour. Okay, here's the allium. I'm going to go down in this bed. Now roses, while I'm walking by them, I'll tell you about roses. If you want to make more roses, so see this knuckle right here, how it's got this nice crusty hardness. If I cut this off right here and I let that harden off a little bit, dry up a little bit, I could put that in dirt and it would make another rose bush out of that. But you have to have that nice hard crusty. Like I couldn't take that branch right there, that wouldn't make another rose bush. But this one would, and this one would. That would make another rose bush. Has to be nice, hard, crusty thing. But these soft little things, they don't make them. That one, I wouldn't try it. I would go further down, you know, on the rose bush. Like these down here, these big, fat, juicy ones. I would do those. So we talked about how on your... okay, so we're actually going to pull these off right now. Okay, you guys get to see the big, fat harvest. Look at this. Okay, so these are fava beans. Okay, let me turn the camera around. Do you guys ever do fava beans? Look how beautiful these are. I grow them because they're an incredible source of protein, and I'm doing a stir fry tonight. So look at these gorgeous things right here. Can you all see them? Aren't those magnificent? Incredible source of protein. And now the other thing that I could do with these, if I wanted to, I could hang on to them and just sow them again for next year. So I could have more. I'm going to put these right here because I'm going to come back and get them. So if I wanted to, I just let the favas get all the way to this. And high and crazy. And then I dry them. And next year I just stick them back in the dirt. And they grow again. So as far as your seed go, you don't have to buy new seed every year. You can just learn. There are incredible books you can get, and you can learn how to propagate everything that you have. So let's see those allium. These are allium. So let me see if I have one that's about spent. Okay, this one. Okay, so do you see on there all those little tiny green pods? I'm going to let this go all the way to mature, and then instead of plucking it, I just walk up to it and shake it like this, and then it spreads all over the place. And every one of these little pods are going to have dozens of seeds. So that's why she had allium in her yard and had never planted it, because look how many I have that are going to burst open and go all over the place, right? Isn't that cool? Super cool? And then I wanted to show you, I actually have some outside, so we can do it out here. I don't even have to go back in, even though my beer is in there. And I forgot to bring my beer with me because I'm, you know, Mrs. Gardner today. So you guys can drink without me, though. You don't have to wait for me to have my beer. I know, it's okay. So I wanted to show you, these are honeyberries. Okay, so look at the honeyberry. And see how, isn't it a beautiful bushy thing? And the first couple of years we had our honeyberries planted, I didn't get any fruit off of them. And I said to Donnie, why in the tarnation did we plant them? And then I did the research on it and found out, so these are called sweet berry honeysuckle. And look underneath. Can you see those? The berries are underneath. And I didn't know. And so the whole first year, I don't even know how many berries we didn't get, because I didn't know where to look for them. Look, under all the branches. Aren't those beautiful? Aren't those beautiful? Now here's the other thing too, is that this berry is just a seed pod. So you know how you get seedless grapes? These, if I let them go to mature, would be seed pods. And I could, if I wanted to, propagate and grow more right out of that seed pod. Otherwise, I'm just going to go to Greenleaf and buy some more, because if I can get this kind of beautiful foliage, I do a lot of propagating with flowers because I think that's fun. But as far as, you know, bushy things like that, if I can get them cheap, you know, and help somebody else while I'm doing it, why not? Let's do that, you know. Let's see, blueberries are the same thing. I would buy blueberries. I wouldn't mess with propagating them. I just wouldn't do it. With your peonies, I'll tell you about peonies real quick. So this is my second year that I've had this peony. Okay, yeah, see, look at all these seed pods. I mean, there's a million of them. If I don't take this out of the garden, I'm going to have them everywhere. That's why weeds. We have some weeds that come up to maturity in several days. And you know what I do is I go along and pluck them out. As soon as I see something, I take it out. Okay, so peonies are a little bit different. Now, this is the second year, like I said, that I've had this peony. And if I wanted to split this up, separate it up, you know, and move it around and put it in a different part of the yard. See these canes down here? So these are last year's canes. And these are all brand new this year's canes. And I could just lift this, or I could put a shovel in here and chop it in half and take half of it out and put it somewhere else if I wanted to. When you get to the bottom of this, in this root mass, as long as it has something on there, it will grow another peony. My mother-in-law passed, and while she was in the nursing home, she said to me, she said, go to my house and you can have all my peonies. And I said, are you being serious right now? And I left the nursing home. I went over to her house. I dug them all up. I had never dug up peonies before. I had no idea. So I took every little rootstock, everything, because I don't know what's going to grow on a peony. I had no experience with them at all. So I brought all these little chunks and pieces and everything home, and I put them out up in the, I went along the whole top of my, maybe tomorrow I can show you guys that, the whole top of my, up by my house up there, and I put every little piece, every little thing. And the first year they came up, there was 1 or 2 canes on them, and I was like, okay, that's cool, and I got some peonies. The second year the peonies came up, I quit counting at 200 blossoms. And that was the second year that I had them in the ground. I quit counting at 200. We probably had 400 peonies that year. And so I call it hedge of peonies, is what I call it up there, because it is just magnificent, beyond my wildest dreams. And I always wanted peonies. I just thought they were so out of my reach, like they're so expensive, or they're so this, or they're so that. That's a story that we tell ourselves. You got to be careful what you say when you talk to yourself, you know? Make sure it's the truth, because for whatever reason, my limiting belief kept me from having peonies, even though I absolutely love them. So when I got my mother-in-law's, what an honor to have her peonies. And like I said, now I have hundreds of them. We end up with bouquets of them. And it's just a thrill, an absolute thrill. And so yeah, so if you want to propagate peonies, that's how you do it. Every little piece, oh look, yes, we're just a little bit needy. Just a little bit, yeah. Every little piece of that cane will grow another one. So if you wanted to, you could, look at this poor kitty cat, like he's never been petted before. So you could actually split that up. If I wanted to, I could split that up into like 8 different plants. When you go to the Grange and you go to Farmer's Building Supply and all your local nursery, place and you want to buy your peonies, your first year peonies are going to be about $10, and you're only going to get 1 cane, maybe 2 if you're lucky. Well, that's okay, because you see how fast they grow. So that's what I do when I invest in my future. I buy the smaller ones. I would rather have 4 different kinds of peonies with 1 cane than 1 peony with 5 canes, you know. So I spread my money out and make it the best deal for me so that I have as many colors as I can get. I do that with iris. When I see iris for sale, I like to buy my iris at farmers, because they're probably been in their 1-gallon pots for 4 years or so, because there's usually 6 or 7 rhizomes in the bucket, which is a great value because they're $10. And then what I do is I have my knife and I cut the rhizomes up and I spread them out. I just spread them out because I love patches of them everywhere. I just think it's so cool. So don't be afraid to buy your first year growth plants, knowing that they only get better from there. There is a peony over at the Grange, and it's $90. And they have one over at Redwood Nursery too that's $90. And I told Donnie one day, I said, I want 2 of them. It'll be less than $200. He's like, what are you smoking? And I said, it hasn't even been happy hour yet. So the next year, after I didn't invest $200 in these peonies, the next year I found the exact same ones at Home Depot for, I think they were they $29 for a 10-pack of them. So they have these big packs of peonies for $29, and I got either 6 or 8 or something of them, and those are going to bloom this year. I'll have those this year, so super excited about that. Well, I wanted to show you the honeyberries, and I wanted to show you the pansies, and we got petunias happening. I got black petunias in there, so I'll show you those. Maybe I'll take pictures of those and post those on Facebook. Oh, I have black grass. Do you guys want to see my black grass? Then I'll let you go. When Donnie and I were at Diamond Home Improvement on Mother's Day, because we had to go get parts. No, it wasn't Mother's Day. It was Saturday before Mother's Day. And we were there and I found black grass. So do you guys want black grass envy? Because I can show it to you. Thumbs up. Okay. Check out my black grass. They only had one and it was $4.99. So we bought it. Let me show you the black grass. Look at this. Can you believe that? Black grass. So it is Blades of Glory Black Mondo Grass. That's what it's called. Is that cool beans? I don't know how big it's going to get. It sure is cool though, huh? Okay. Well, I think that's all I have for you today. It's about to start raining on me. Beautiful big tree. You guys make it a great day. Show me in your comments what it is that you're drinking. I'm going to go find my beer and swizzle that baby down. And I want to see what you guys do for fun. Like if you guys play with plants and stuff, let's see what you do for fun. Okay? I love you so much. I'll see you guys, I hope tomorrow for happy hour. I hope. Maybe not. Okay? Okay.